right, let's go. Let's pick it right up, guys. All right, here we go. All right, so this little blurb here is Jack Showalter, okay? They're going to his apartment. Detective Payne. First it was Pal, and then it was another Idaho State Police detective. They were canvassing the identified possible blood on the door to Jack Showalter's residence. Detective Payne authored a search warrant for the residence. The warrant was granted based on the presumptive ID of blood found at the entrance of the residence. At 7 p.m., Payne, Pal, and I arrived at the residence. I tested the suspected blood with a presumptive hemident blood test. The test was negative. I processed the door and exterior walkway with luminol. Sure you did. And used an alternate light source to check for possible blood or cleanup. Nothing of evidentiary value was found. So now they're walking forensics, right? These guys. So that's Jack Showalter's apartment, and I think they go, and there's other things though with that. Yeah, multiple suspected blood samples were collected from Jack Showalter's apartment. Yep. So let's see. Yep. Okay, so they return on the 23rd, okay? Detective Payne authored a search warrant for the residence of a person of interest, Jack Showalter. Yeah. ISP Detective Jack Schweck, ISP Detective Brady, Walker, Payne, and I processed the residence. At about 1:37 p.m., I started a pre-evidence process video and photographs. I tested multiple red-colored stains with hemident, a presumptive positive test for blood. Red-colored stains in the bathroom sink and near the toilet handle were negative. Okay. Red-colored stains on the shower curtain and the west entry hall were positive. I marked the evidence with numbered placards and photographed the exhibits. The following evidence was recorded and collected. 2 blood swabs collected from the bathroom shower curtain. 2 blood swabs collected from the south wall of the bathroom below the light switch next to the toilet. Blood swab collected from the south wall of the bathroom above the light switch next to the toilet. And then 2 blood swabs collected from west wall of entry hallway near the transition of the living room. In the bedroom closet, I located a pair of Vans sneaker shoes. I tested the soles of the shoes with hemident. They were negative. Okay, 2, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6, not 4. We got 6 blood swabs coming from Jack Showalter's apartment. And they're saying they didn't find any other blood. I would have had they should have had the forensic team in there, like they did with the house. I don't trust Payne doing anything when it comes to testing to see if something's blood or not. No way in hell. No way in hell. Okay, number 5. At about 2:48, I started a post evidence process video. 2:52, Detective Payne secured the scene. I transported the items collected to the Moscow Police Department and turned the items over to their evidence technician. Right? I entered the scene photographs into evidence and and provided copies to the Moscow Police Department. And guess what they did with those samples? What do you think they did with them, guys? My guess is they did absolutely nothing with them. So they took 6 samples, 6 that we know of, blood samples from Jack Showalter's apartment. A bunch in his bathroom, some in his living room. All kinds of blood in Jack Showalter's apartment. Yeah, good old Jack. Yeah, but guess what? What did Moscow police do with that blood? Just take a wild guess. Yeah. All right, let's carry on. This is 41. We're on page 119, all right? Now we're switching now. Photo video entry. Okay, this is new. This is next. There's a summary. Of course, we list the victims. Okay. Okay. Vic 2, Vic 3, Vic 4. Okay. Yeah. That's it? Okay. I don't know. Whatever. I guess they took stuff from them. Okay, here's another tip. Here's another tip, number 42. Here's another tip coming up. Let's see who this tip is and what they got to say. Here's the narrative. Witness number 1. A white male is 39 years old. Okay, that's where we're at. White male, 39 years old. Okay, let's see what this is about. All right, guys, this one isn't much here. So December 1st, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Boone and Barrett, so they went to this guy's place, and they were following up, and this person, he bought a K-bar knife online, all right, and he had heard on the news that the weapon in question was possibly a K-bar knife, and he was aware that no suspect had been arrested. He had decided to purchase the knife as a home and self-defense weapon, but had not yet received his order. And he moved there in June of 2022, okay? Detective Barrett asked blank blank if he had any connections with the university or the Greek system. At the university, he advised that he and his wife had purchased the residence in June of 2022, and they had purchased the residence from a person who was a financial supporter of the sorority system. Okay? And then he says, no further questions were asked, and then we left. That's what they did. Yeah. He hadn't received his order yet, and he decided to buy a K-bar knife for home and self-defense. Well, I thought Moscow was a safe area. I don't know. But anyway, K-bar for home and self-defense, hadn't received the order yet, and then there's no other follow-up questions. Then we just left. Ha! Great job, guys. Hey, he could have been your suspect too, just saying. He moved there in June, same as Bryant. He's buying K-bar knives off of Amazon or where the fuck he's buying them. And they let him. Hey, that's all. Okay, no problem, no big deal. Yeah. Wow. There you go. That's some, again, more hard-hitting fucking Idaho State Police detective work there. Wow. Okay, what do we got here? We got a blank blank interview. Blank blank's interview. 43. Supplement. I'm on 123. All right, so let's see what this one's about. Witness 1. Hispanic female, 52 years old. Wow, okay. Not a young college kid. We got a 52-year-old female. Okay, radios, TVs, VCRs. All right. And here's the narrative. On December 6th, 2022, at approximately 11 a.m., Idaho State Police Detective Tyler Barrett and I, Detective Sergeant Tim Hopkins, from the ISP District 6 office, interviewed blank 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 regarding a tip called into law enforcement about a homicide which occurred in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, right? Blank is the mother of blank. Blank is the mother of blank. The interview took place at in Boise, Idaho. During the interview, blank told us the following. This is this person's mother, I guess. She did not call a tip in. She has never called. She only knows what blank tells her. She received a text when it first happened and was concerned for blank. She learned it was 4 people later that night with her husband. Blank has been home since the week before Thanksgiving. Are we talking about Mr. Showalter again? Because Showalter was home the week before from Thanksgiving. Blank went in for an interview with the FBI before Thanksgiving. Uh-huh. Blank was home Saturday, December 3rd, and is currently home. Blank has been good, and he is a good, very responsible kid. Frat life has been good to him. Didn't I go over this before? Moscow is a small community. They all work, play, and go to school together. What the fuck? Yeah, Jack Showalter knew the victims and was friends with them. Xana was familiar with Blank's frat house. Blank knew all three girls and was familiar with Ethan. Well, I thought he only knew. Now, if this is Jack Showalter, I thought he only knew Maddie. I don't know. As far as she knows, they were all friends. Blank went to Cabo with his frat brothers. Okay, whoever. Blank is a pretty honest person. Blank is not too attached with any girl. He is friendly with a lot of them. The girls seem to like him. She does not know of Blank getting into trouble. Blank was at the day party at the Blank left the party to get something to eat and drink, then he went back to the frat house. Blank should have alibis because he took the fraternity DD. He took the fraternity DD. Okay. Someone is there to corroborate his whereabouts. She does not know what type of room he has at the frat house. Blank has talked about how his room is set up. Blank was the blank on the frat last year. She does not think Blank is on this year. What? Suspension list? On the red code list? What? The frat was on a suspension from events a couple of years ago. The current members have to clean up from the past. A lot of the frat life is over her head. She thinks it's a little disconcerting someone would call in this tip. Her phone number is that. Blank has a white Hyundai Elantra. No, I don't know, but he has a white car that he drives at school. He does not drive it very much anymore, I bet. Blank uses a designated driver for the frat. As far as she knows, Blank was at the frat house playing video games with a bunch of friends the night of the unalivings. She thinks there was one or two of his friends playing video games with him. One of Blank's friends wanted to go out, but Blank stayed in to play video games. Oh, did he now, Mom? Are you sure about that, Mom? Her husband's phone number is blank. Exhibit 4301, audio of the interview, has been placed into evidence and is being maintained in the Idaho Falls ISP District 6 evidence room. Is that it? Timothy Hopkins. I guess that's it. What the fuck? Wow. I think what we're seeing here is Mom and Dad are totally in the dark here about what their angel son's been doing. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, Mom seems totally in denial. Doesn't understand the frat life at all. And I think her son, who I think this is Jack we're talking about, I don't know for sure, but has been playing them. I don't think they have any idea what these little monsters are up to in reality. No, seriously, that's what that strikes me as right there. That's sad, but that's where, yeah. All right, more tip interviews. Blank on blank. Okay, we're on page 125. We're at supplement. I don't care about the supplement 44, whatever. More tip interviews. Okay, let's see what we got here. Witness 1. A male's 22 years old. Witness 1, male 22. Another witness 1, a 34-year-old male in Washington. One in Idaho Falls, Idaho. One in Washington. Witness 1, another witness, This is a male 26 in Moscow. Another witness, a male 21. It blocked out his address. No, I'm sorry, Boise, Idaho. Another witness. Wow. Another witness here. A female now that's 20. Post Falls, Idaho. Okay. USB tip interview videos. Wow, okay. Let's see what this is about here. Witness one. Okay, and here's the narrative. All right, let's see what this one's about, guys. Jeez whiz. Okay, let's go. All right, guys. So, what do we got? Between the dates of November 26th and December 6th, 2022, right, 11 days, Detective Sergeant Tim Hopkins from the Idaho State Police and Idaho State Police Detective Derek Brown were assigned several tips to follow up on and conducted several interviews related to those tips. Okay, here we go. Tip 184 what? Requesting an interview with On November 27, 2022, Hopkins and Brown contacted and interviewed about his knowledge of events surrounding the unalivings. Blank told us the following. On the evening of the 12th and the early morning hours of the 13th, he was hanging out at the Corner Club bar with several people, including Kaylee and Maddie. His girlfriend, was also there. He spent the whole night with her. His girlfriend, blank blank, was also there. Yeah, duh. Everyone was drinking alcohol that night. They were not using any recreational substances. His friend, blank blank, had been invited to Kaylee's house the night of November 12, 2022, but chose not to go. Okay. He got into an argument with someone at the bar, but does not know who it was. That's great. Nobody knows fucking anything, right? He got in an argument. I don't know who it was, though. He drank out of the person's beer. He apologized and offered to buy the guy another beer. Number 9, he is not a Coca-Cola dealer. Okay. Just saying. Blank provided blank blank's phone number as that. And phone number as that. Great. Tip, that's it for that one. Tip 2673, requesting an interview of regarding her interaction with fellow law student blank blank. On November 28th, Sergeant Hopkins and Detective Brown interviewed During the interview, she told us the following. She told us the following. She is in the blank program of University of Idaho with blank blank. She had a conversation with after the unalivings had occurred. During her conversation, referenced the Moscow unalivings and compared it to the mass shooting at Virginia Tech from 2007. Blank told her the suspect in the Virginia Tech shooting had killed 2 people prior to conducting the shooting on campus. Okay, that's weird. While talking about the Virginia Tech incident, Blank was breathing rapid, heavy, and visible through his clothing, and he had visible sweat on his upper lip. Nervous. Blank did not mention anything specific about the unalivings in Moscow, Idaho. Blank talked about an unaliving which took place in 2017 at the Fred Meyer in the Tri-Cities area. Blank said the suspect in that unaliving was at one time his roommate. Wow. He tried to get his roommate help and called the police about him prior to the shooting. Blank, 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 and then in the Tri-City areas. What the hell? She does not know where Blank lives in the Moscow area, and she does not know what he drives. Blank, but knows his phone number. Okay. He is back in town. That's good. She doesn't know anything else about him, but knows he's back in town and knows his phone number. Doesn't know where he lives, though. Right? And doesn't know what kind of car he drives. Fucking ridiculous, these people. Oh my God. Blank was Blank's birthday. Okay. On November 13th, she was invited to a brunch for She did not attend the brunch. On November 30th, 2022, Sergeant Hopkins and Brown interviewed blank. And they told us the following. We were talking to him because he was a Marine. He does own K-Bar knives. They are in his safe at his property in the Tri-Cities. Blank was his birthday. He and some of his friends went to Rico's in Pullman, Washington. Pullman. He met a woman there named and this is her phone number. She was later identified as blah, blah, blah. He and took a Lyft ride to his apartment in Moscow and arrived at approximately 2:30 a.m. He was very drunk. Like everybody else in this fucking shit-ass state. Blank was giving him water. Blank stayed with him until the morning of the 13th. Aw, isn't that convenient? Aw, so there's your alibi, huh? Yeah, psycho Marines running around. His roommate, Blank, answered the door and let him and Blank into the apartment. Blank showed me the Lyft route and receipt from the app on his phone. The receipt showed the Lyft left in Pullman around 2:10 a.m. and arrived at in Moscow, Idaho at 2:28 a.m. Plenty of time, right? Okay, great. On November 30th, I guess that's it. Wow. On November 30th, Hopkins and Brown contacted his roommate regarding statements, and they told us the following. He received a phone call on November 12th to open the door for and let him in. Blank was drunk, as always, like everybody else in this town, and he was with a girl who would not show her face to him. That's weird. Now, who are these people? Yeah, all kinds of fucking characters here, guys, running around. Creepy, into knives, drunk all the fucking time, coming from Pullman, going to Moscow. Yeah, it could be any one of these people. And did they interrogate them? No, but let's see what happened. But this girl would not show his face. That's always good. That's not weird at all. On December 1st, 2022, maybe she's like, I don't know, whatever. No. On December 1st, 2022, Hopkins, I guess that's it for that one. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, Hopkins and Barrett conducted a follow-up interview with over the phone to clarify his time frame of activities. During the phone call, Blank told us the following. He was drinking heavy, and he was effed up all weekend. That's a shock. Oh my God. The days kind of run together. Yes, I bet they do. In Moscow, Idaho. On the 13th, he went to brunch and then hooked up with later identified as for dinner. He came back to his house and stayed the night. He took Blank to breakfast in the morning and then, She came back to his house and stayed the night. All right, hot and heavy, baby. He took Blank out for breakfast in the morning and said, that was nice, but I don't have any money. Can you pay for breakfast? And then then she threw eggs at his face, and he proceeded to chop her head off. No, then he dropped her. No, just like in Moscow, right? Then dropped her off. Hey, it sounds like Moscow. He is out of town in the Tri-City area for the next couple weeks. He is willing to provide a DNA sample once he gets back into the area. This is on the phone, remember? He will help in any way he can to catch the person who did this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, wait till I come back. I'll give you DNA. Blank's phone number is that. Well, I guess they were really on the hunt for this guy, right? They're like, yeah, sure, you can give back to us whenever you come back. We're not in any hurry to solve this, are we? Oh well, yeah, kind of we are, and well, that's where we get the lone wolf from. But anyway, the construction of the lone wolf on December 1st, 2022, Hopkins and Brown contacted Washington driver's license blank, and regarding blank's activities. Blank told us the following: she met with the evening of the 12th. They were at and went bar hopping. Blank was very drunk and oh my God, and could not find his friends. Let me guess. They're either one of the bars, or they're at the Whites, or at the Treehouse. So I'm sure you'll find them. Where else do you fucking people go? Oh my God, they're all fucked up all the time, guy. Ridiculous, these people. She was giving blank water. Okay, this is the opposites, right? Okay, so she was giving this guy water. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Blank stayed with him. She stayed with him until the morning of the 13th. Took a lift back to Blank's house in Moscow, Idaho. The house smelled like dogs. Good thing to remember. She stayed there that night. She stayed there that night, even though the house smelled like dogs. Okay. She did not go to brunch on the 13th. I wonder why. She met with Blank for dinner on the 13th. They had dinner and then stayed the night together, again, with the smelly dogs. And maybe raw chicken that we're trying to eat. She has not seen Blank since the morning of November 14th, when they were separated. That's odd. Why were you separated? On the 14th, the day after, why were you separated? You guys were hot and heavy here for the past couple days, right? Now all of a sudden you get separated on the 14th. For what reason? What reason? Did they even ask? Oh my God. On December 1st, Idaho State Police Brown and Hopkins interviewed regarding his knowledge of the unalivings and his whereabouts on the 12th and 13th. The tip on Blank came from ISP Detective Lee Edgley, who observed Blank during the memorial service. So we got an Idaho State Police detective observing this character during the memorial service, and they must have been doing some weird shit or something, because this guy was eyeballing him, right? Yeah. This interview was not recorded. Oh, not you fuckers too. This interview was not recorded, so guess what? It's not evidence. Guess what? We could have talked about anything and nobody would have any idea what we talked about. Great job, Idaho State Police. Now I can see where Moscow gets it from. Yeah, during the interview, we talked about whatever and it didn't matter because none of it was recorded and none of it can be proven now. Good job. During the interview, he told us the following. He attended the memorial for the victims. He probably looked out of place because he was standing off to the side alone. Is this Jack Decor? Is this Jack Decor, guys? Jack Decor was at the memorial, wasn't he? And he didn't say a fucking word about Kaylee, did he? No, he stood there like a little fucking lost little dog. No wonder Kaylee fucking thought of him as her brother. A little fucking puppy. Yeah. What the fuck? Okay, stood there, he's on the side alone. He did not attend the memorial with anybody. Well, maybe it's not, I don't know. Maybe it is. Well, that's weird. But your father refused to sign the forms to freeze you. Let's see, you'd be about 60 now, and long dead by the time I return to Earth. All right. He works in the Blank Blake building on campus and is a Blank grad student. Now, this is not Jack Decor, by the way. This is not Jack Decor. He did not know any of the victims. As a grad student, he does not socialize with any underclassmen. He worked, went on walks, and was with his girlfriend at his apartment from November 11th to the 13th. He drives a white blank blank. He did not want to provide a DNA sample. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then what'd they do with him? They let him go. He didn't know any of the victims, right? But he didn't want to provide a DNA sample. That's odd, right? Sure. Well, why were you at the memorial service then by yourself and looking weird and standing by yourself and the cop is eyeballing you and they're the ones that, yeah, maybe we should talk to this guy. And then he says he doesn't know any of the victims and then he doesn't want to provide a DNA sample though. Yeah, there you go. That's suspect number 725 on the top of the list. No, we had to construct the lone wolf here. Yeah, bullshit. Look at that. December 3rd, 2022. Brown and Hopkins again interviewed over the phone. This interview was not recorded. Oh my God. So it never happened. Blank refused to give us, so you know what I mean? So we don't know what the fuck, they could have talked about anything again. Blank refused to give us any personal information and would not say where she got her information. Well, that's nice. See, they're too soft on these fucking people. They are way too soft on these fucking people. During the interview, blank, she told us the following. She has a friend of a friend of a friend who was drunk, and they were drunk. No, right? She has a friend of a friend from out of state who has looked into this case. Oh, okay. She read about the case on websites and believes she's a psychic just like Master Nature is. No, fuck you. No, there's only one, right? Excuse me. Yeah, but she read about the case on websites and believes blank blank is involved. Ooh. Her friend found blank blank from the blank fraternity website and looked at his eyes. Oh. She does not know how her friend of a friend picked out this information. That's nice. Okay, on to the next one. No, is this the same tip? Yeah, no, on to the next one. Okay, scratch that crazy one off. Here we go. December 3rd, 2022. Brown and Hopkins interviewed blank blank about his whereabouts on November 12th and 13th. His knowledge of the fraternity and his knowledge of the homicides. During the interview, blank told us the following. He was previously interviewed during Thanksgiving break, November 18th, by the FBI in Boise, Idaho. He was asked about the victims and I wonder who that could be. Xana was his Greek little. A Greek little is not someone you are pursuing, but a friend who becomes part of your Greek family. Okay. I think University of Idaho, I think at this point they should shut down all fraternities and sororities because everyone's a fucking weirdo, like fucking psycho. Yeah, and drug and substance use and alcoholics. And people unalive themselves mysteriously in the Greek family. His big told him to hang out with a few different houses like the blanks and the blank. They would have events where only their littles were invited. That's what we call grooming. That's what we call grooming. He was the blank blank of his house. What, the pimp? What, the asshole pimp of the house? Like every fucking dumbass frat? They're currently in a transition period after their election. Oh. He is helping the new guy get up to speed. Oh, he's so thoughtful. Last year, he was the He knows everyone in the frat pretty well. The house gets a little clicky based on pledge classes. He had classes with Maddie, not Matty. He had classes with Maddie since his freshman year, and he met Kaylee through Maddie. Yeah. Matty had been dating Jake for a little while. Blank was his blank in the fraternity. He was the one who told him he was going to little Xana. Fuck is that? Blank, blank, his little blank, is taking over for him as the head dildo, I guess. I don't know. He knows blank blank pretty well. Blank will be done in a semester. He and Kaylee started talking about a month prior to the unalivings. She would come back with him and stay at the fraternity. Okay, who is this guy? They talked on Saturday at the pregame party where Kaylee apologized to him and wanted to go to the game with him. Apologized for what? He had already had plans to go to a sorority formal that evening with blank blank. Kaylee texted him that night. He ignored it. Now who is this? Is this Jack Decor? Kaylee texted him that night. He ignored it. I don't know. No, I don't know. Kaylee was pretty drunk on Saturday. How do you know that? How do you know Kaylee was pretty drunk on Saturday? She was probably texting others to hang out as well. Sounds jealous to me. The texts were through Snapchat. Snapchat deletes after 24 hours. Does it? They mainly use Snapchat. They will create large 40-person groups on Snapchat to communicate. Fucking idiots. His primary way to communicate is through Snapchat. Yeah, I can tell. Just like every other idiot in your age bracket in Idaho at this time. You don't know how to fucking talk. Like, in person. And make sense. He never really had standard text message conversations. Okay. Or any real ones. No, I don't know. Blank blank is still a blank and lives by himself on blank. Okay. He was out of the picture on Saturday because of being at the formal. Not necessarily. You could have left the formal. He usually knows where the guys are going to be and where they are comfortable going. His frat is comfortable going to Xana's house for a party. I wonder why that is. Huh, Xana? See, Xana's not an innocent little girl. None of them are innocent, guys. Yes, they are unalived. That's one thing. But I'm just saying, in general, none of these people were little angels. So, again, mainstream media, stop sanitizing, you idiots. These weren't little children. Nope. He is not aware of everybody's relationships with the victims. If there was someone who was not allowed to Xana's house, he would know. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Ego trip, this guy. Maddie and Blank were pretty enamored with each other. Okay. Don't know. Could be her boyfriend, Jake. Hopefully that's who. But who knows with these people? He does not know who was hooking up with who within the group of people. Okay. I thought you knew everything, buddy. You didn't know that? Okay. Blank blank is dating blank blank from Boise. That's nice. Blank blank and blank blank from the frat house had gotten with blank and blank. He feels pretty terrible about what happened. Okay. Okay. I don't know. That's good for you. About what? About them hooking up? About what? The incident? What? Oh my God. Blank blank was the last blank of the fraternity. Blank was visiting the weekend of the homicide and was staying at is a cabin at the end of On November 13th, between 11 and 12 o'clock, Blank got a hold of him and told him something had happened at Xana's house and to do a head count. What the fuck? I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't want to say it's Dylan or Bethany. And because why would they ask him whoever this was, what would they ask him to do a fucking head count? A head count is a sprint through the house for people to count their pledge class and make sure they can get a hold of everybody. Okay. Blank blank was the only house member they could not get a hold of during the head count. Wow. Because he was with the people who found the bodies. So, Hunter Johnson? I don't know. But he was one with the bodies, right? I don't know. Could be other. I don't know. Blank blank is a member of the pledge class. Blank is a good friend of blank. Blank still lives in the frat house and just finished his role as on the house board. Was present during the head count. Okay. So we go from this person who wasn't there because he's with the bodies to some other idiot who was present. Oh my God. Blank is known as a night owl. That's good. They don't usually see him until about noon. Oh, okay. They see him at night? I don't know. Blank has popped up on the university radar a couple of times because he likes to carry around knives and harass women. Or because of blank. Blank got into a fight at the corner club one night. Yeah, you don't say. Blank just recently, approximately 3 or 4 weeks ago, got into a fight at this formal. Well, this little prick likes to fight people, get drunk. All of them were at the corner club, and nobody saw the altercation. My God. Oh, my God. The university is still looking into the fight at this formal event. Aha. Where is that? Wow. Okay. All right. Who'd you get in a fight with? Was it one of the victims? Moscow or Idaho State Police, did you ask any of these fucking questions? Who did this person get into a fight with? Was it one of the victims? He was gone on the weekend of the formal. Where? Where was he? It looks like blank was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got caught in the middle of the altercation. He recommended to the university that blank write apology letters to the university and to the sorority. Wow. And it's so amazing when you contrast all this fucking shit-ass behavior on these little snot-nosed kids. You compare what they're doing compared to what how the media tried to paint Brian Kohlberger. These little shits are doing much worse than Brian. They're running around getting into fights with people everywhere, getting all drunk and fucking loaded every day, underage, doing substances, fucking probably robbing people and doing all kinds of shit, these fucking kids. Wow. Little shits, man. They're all like little fucking hoodlums, most of them. And some of them are sociopathic too. Yeah. Okay. The Sigma Chi, I don't know. The House is now waiting to hear if they are on suspension or not based on the formal incident and a couple of hazing allegations. Yeah. We don't know if they're going to be suspended again. Yeah. Isn't it great to have, Idaho, don't you think you should just get rid of the frats and the sororities? It seems like it kills a lot of people. Yeah, it does. Just saying. Blank and blank were both involved in the incident at this sorority formal and are knocking on death's door. They will probably get cut from the chapter. That's an odd way of putting it. Knocking on death's door. Who the fuck is talking? Yeah, they're knocking on death's door. They'll probably get cut from the chapter. Oh my God. I'd arrest this idiot who's talking to me like this right now just for being fucking stupid and saying dumb things like that in the situation. Yeah, I mean, remember the situation that you're in. Remember, we talked about this. Where are you? Right? Hunter J, where are you? Give me my $34. Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody has any social awareness. Wow. Blank was the one who instigated the altercation. The frat house has a general door code to access the house. I love how they just switch between fucking subjects here. Fucking dumb. The door code needs to change more frequently. They also why? They also have a couple of doors on the first floor they ripped out. Both Blank and Blank have been in the house for 4 years and are on their way out of the house this spring. Well, good for them. On to be little terrors when they leave. Blank and Blank have also been told not to go out with them for a while. His other little sister, who we groom, Blank, hosted the party on Friday at the Whites, the treehouse, the Whites. He gave the lodge. Yeah, the lodge, maybe. He gave verbal consent and signed a written consent form for law enforcement to download the contents of his cell phone. The written consent form has been added as an e-file. Blank's phone was turned over to FBI Special Agent Rob Hilly, who coordinated the download of its contents. At the conclusion of the interview, Blank's phone was returned to him. They did that all right there. Wow. Okay, they I guess they forensically downloaded his phone right there. Wow, that's pretty nifty. Pretty nifty. Yeah. Well, after the conclude, we gave his phone back to him. On the 13th, they woke up, did the head count, and tried to get a hold of their friends. Why? I thought somebody was just unconscious. Oh, wait a minute. He checked on everyone. He called Blank and checked to see if he was okay. Aw. Is this the president of the frat? Sounds like that asshole who had to get to class. Remember they tried to interview him on the day of, and he's like, I gotta get to class. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like this prick. He and Blank went to get food at McDonald's and checked on the guys at Blank. Blank. Oh my God. Blank and Blank. Why are they worried about the frat guys? We're not worried. Oh my God. Wow, this is so dumb. While he was getting food with Blank, Blank was doing all right. Okay. Me too. We're all doing all right. Okay. They talked back and forth about getting a hold of Xana, speculating that maybe she was talking to the police. Why would you think that? What would make you think that Xana was talking to the police? This makes no sense. They talked back and forth about getting a hold of Xana, speculating maybe she might be talking to the police. That's fucking weird. So there's something weird here. So he knows something. Whoever this person is talking, he knows something big here. And he's afraid of something here. That's what's going on. Because why else would you just come up with this? So he's afraid of something that Xana knows. And he's speculating that maybe she was talking to the police about what happened the night before. That's exactly what he's saying here, guys. Because why else would you just suddenly think, oh, yeah, Xana's probably talking to the police? No, he knows something happened the night before, that night, that involves Xana. And he's probably thinking whatever happened, which he knows what happened, Xana decided to contact police about it. It must have been that serious, is what I'm saying here. So these guys were trying to figure out what to do next, is what was going on here in this situation, guys. And I wonder if Idaho State Police totally fucking missed this. My guess is they did. Because that's how I'm reading this. Why else would you think of this about Xana calling police? Unless you knew something happened that night involving her. Whether it was a fight at the frat with Ethan and all that, remember that? But something was going on, right? That they knew. Xana may be talking to the police about, and it wasn't good, and they know exactly what it is. They tried to stay positive. See, they were fretting. We're not talking about them worried about the unalivings. They tried to stay positive, meaning they were worried their asses would be in fucking trouble, is what that means. Yes, indeed. At 3 or 4, they got an update from that 4 people were gone. By Monday, almost everyone had gone home. He was talking to blank blank that day and was into some Snapchats with others about what was going on. I bet you were. I bet you were. And are the 2 from the house he hangs out with the most. Okay? Are the 2 from the house he hangs out with the most. Stayed over with him on Saturday night. Was in his room with him all night. There's an alibi. Is He was at the he was at the party at the lodge, whatever, until 4 p.m. Then he went to sober up so he could go to the formal and get even more loaded. Right? And so he could go to the formal with The formal was held at there. They got back to the where at about 11 p.m. Okay, 11 p.m. They were probably about 60 or 70 there were probably about 60 or 70 people in the apartment attending the party at the Gee, I thought it wasn't a big gathering. Or was that the other party? Which part? One party didn't have many people. This one had 60 or 70. Yeah. Once he left the party, he detached from the events for the night. What does that mean? He detached from the events for the night. You mean psychotically detached? Because you're so fucking drunk and wasted? You detached that way? What is it? What do you mean you detach from the events for the night? I don't like... Again, I'd arrest him right here. What you're telling me is a load of shit. So this guy drives a blue and drives a silver and this person drives this and this. And they blocked that completely out. They didn't even put the color in there. Blank drives a small white car, maybe a blank. It's odd, though. Yeah, this is odd. Drives a silver blank. Blank drives and they didn't put the color there. Whatever. I don't know. On December 3rd, Detective Brown and I interviewed over the phone. Was your conversation recorded or not this time, morons? You fucking idiots. Fucking Idaho State Police. What? These people are just as fucking dumb as the Moscow. Well, we keep saying that, but it's true. Blank told us the following. Did you record this one, idiots? Probably not. She attended the formal on the 12th with All right. After the formal, she stayed the night at frat house. God. Okay. And that's it? That was it. Wait a minute. Okay, that's it. That was it. That was the end of it. Yeah, that's all she said. Wow. Oh yeah, she attended a formal on the 12th with blank blank. After the formal, she stayed the night at blank's I'm saying Sigma Chi, the frat house. And that's it. Okay. Great interview there. All right, let's go. Oh my God. All right. Hey, we're on 131 of 556. Oh my, wow. Okay, let's see what's going on with this. Okay, here's this narrative. December 1st, 2022 at approximately 12:30 p.m., Idaho State Police Lieutenant Boone and I, Detective Barrett, interviewed University of Idaho student regarding her relationship with the victims of the unalivings at the King Road house. During the interview, she told us the following. Blank had previously met with Idaho State Police Detective Pacina for an interview. Blank was close friends with Kaylee. She knew Maddie, but not as well as Kaylee. She explained that the only boyfriend issues pertaining to Maddie she knew about was during a spring break trip to Cabo in 2022. Mogan, wow. Okay, Mogan, and then the rest is all fucking blacked out here. The blank took place in Cabo and possibly after they returned. What took place? What took place? The blank took place in Cabo and possibly after they returned. What took place? Okay, I don't know. Guys, Garden, what is that? What took place in Cabo and then possibly after they returned? Why they have that blacked out there? If it was a fight or an argument, why is that black? What is that? Mogan blank her relationship with her boyfriend after the What the fuck? Blank does not know blank very well. Kaylee and her last boyfriend, Jack Decor, broke up because they became more of just friends. And, well, and then, as Kaylee said, he's a little child to me. Blank was with Kaylee the last day she was happy and completely fine. That's weird to say that. That's really weird. That's weird. Blank did not hear anything the night before, and here we fucking go. Nobody hears anything. This perpetrator, too, did not hear anything the night before and went to bed around 3:15 a.m. Sure. Yeah, there you go, guys. This is weird. What is going on here with Maddie's relationship with Jake? So how am I reading this? Mogan blanked her relationship with her boyfriend after the what? With what? After the hookup with this other person? So Maddie is, so I'm reading this as Maddie. Okay, so Maddie was hooking up with some other guy here. Okay, so Maddie is not a little angel either here. No. See, all along we're thinking Maddie and Jake were a solid couple, correct? That's not the case here because she was fucking people when she was in Cabo. And that possibly continued after they returned from Cabo. She was hooking up with somebody else. Man, they're all little angels, aren't they? Wow. And so Mogan what? Her relationship. Mogan ended her relationship with her boyfriend after the hookup with blank, is how I'm reading that. So were her and Jake together or not? Or I'm confused now. Or did this happen and then she started seeing Jake after this? I don't know, guys. This is so confusing. Anyway, yeah, okay, so that's the end of that. December 8th, submitted to DVD, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's coming up next? Interview. Okay, what do we got? So that was it for that. More interviews. Okay, more interviews. And we are at 133 of 556, supplement 46. More Idaho State Police interviews coming up. Who do we got? I don't know. No demographics on this one. We got a summary narrative. Witness 1. Okay, here we go. Witness 1. White male, 69 years old. Okay, getting up there. Maybe that's one of the fathers. Witness 2, 78-year-old, 44 years old. Okay. White female, 54 years old. Are these the parents? Who are these people? Okay, then we get a white male who's 21. Okay, now we're back to college kids. White male, 21. Okay. So I don't know, parents, relatives maybe, and then we get the white male 21 who's going to be okay. Okay, we're going to leave it right there, guys. We're going to leave it right there, page 134. And we're going to pick it up right here. Okay, I love you all. Be back a little later. Okay, I love you, babies. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.